just been so hot. And even in the mornings, it's still very warm and it's still a little muggy outside. But, you know, today we are seeing a little bit of a difference in parts of the state. Not for everyone, though. You can see Oklahoma City. You can see all our different sky cameras right now. Yeah, lots of sunshine, and it is going to be another very hot day for most of us. Now let's go to Links 1 and talk about the heat advisory and excessive heat warning that's still in place for basically along and east of I-35. But again, that does not mean that in western Oklahoma it's going to be nice and cool. That is certainly not the case. The good news is that we are seeing at least a little bit, a taste of relief in northwest and parts of north central Oklahoma. We had some rain and a couple of isolated storms early this morning, and still a couple of raindrops on Next Gen Live. So just zooming in a little bit closer across north central Oklahoma, some showers in between Lamont and Billings, and also a couple of raindrops now over parts of Kay County. In western and southwest Oklahoma, we do have some showers there as well. A couple of showers just south of Eric, and also some light rain now just north of Clinton. Everything's moving off to the east very slowly, but also kind of falling apart at the same time. But you can see that we have had some rain that amounted to at least a little bit, 0.13 there in Woodward and 0.06 in Cherokee. But most of us will end up staying dry the rest of the afternoon. This is our Integris camera up on our Lucky Star SkyCam network. Mostly sunny, 94 degrees, not much wind, and it feels more like 99 degrees outside. So where we have had some more cloud cover and at least some rain, temperatures in the low to upper 80s in the northwest, but in southwest Oklahoma, it's already 101 degrees, especially right now there in Altus. You can see that in Greer and Harmon counties, and even some low 100s starting to show up in eastern Oklahoma as well. But again, after factoring those dew points, they're already in the low 70s for many of us. It feels anywhere between about 100 to as much as around 110 degrees in parts of southern and southeast Oklahoma, with that southwest wind between about 10 to 15 miles an hour. But right now, that wind is generally coming in out of the southeast and parts of northwest Oklahoma. And it's also pretty light right now as well. But the heat dome, it's basically just to the south. You can kind of see how the storms are kind of going right around that. Well, as we get into the weekend, that heat dome is going to try to shift a little bit to the south and west, and that will allow storm chances to increase in parts of the state. And today, there's still a slight chance, because now we've got that frontal boundary just to the north and west, that we do see some afternoon development, but it would be very, very isolated. Now, as we get into the overnight hours, eventually more storms are going to be possible, mainly in the northwest, and a low threat, some of those could become severe. As we get into the day tomorrow, a slight chance in the afternoon, but as we get into tomorrow evening, storm chances increase in the northwest. Tomorrow night and into Sunday morning, chances increase basically along and north of I-40, but eventually those storms will make their way across southeast Oklahoma. So there is a pretty good chance that at least a lot of us get at least a little bit of rain. There's a good rain chance, but not saying we're going to get a lot of rain by any means. Today, though, looking for highs to be in the low 100s for most of us. Still the 90s in the northwest. But for this afternoon and evening, a slight chance of rain and storms across north central and parts of western Oklahoma. Right now, I think Oklahoma City stays dry, but the chances increase overnight and into tomorrow morning, especially north central, northwestern Oklahoma. And that is where we have a low threat of seeing up to quarter-size hail wind gusts, potentially up to 65 miles an hour. Overnight, temperatures drop down into the mid and upper 70s, low 80s in the southeast. Tomorrow afternoon, at least we're dropping down back into the 90s. So 98 degrees in Oklahoma City, but 87 in Ponca City, 85 in Alva, 84 in Woodward, and still looking at those 100-degree plus temperatures across the far south. During the afternoon tomorrow, a slight chance of rain and storms, but a more moderate chance across the western part of the state. Tomorrow night to Sunday morning, chances are looking a lot better, especially north of I-40. Right now, about a 60% chance here in Oklahoma City. Some of these storms, especially to the north, during that time will have a low threat of producing maybe up to quarter-size hail, wind gusts of 65. And then Sunday afternoon, temperatures coming down into the low 90s with the front moving to the south and east. But next week, it's not looking terrible. We do have some 80s showing up and some low 90s in there as well.